demonstrating, guys. I got Eric here. He's going to do a lot of demonstrating on this one. This is going to be a lot of look and see. We'll go over the basics real quick down on the list, and then Eric's going to demonstrate. Eric has been putting on some really good shovel edges this year. He's got a good grip on them. Everything looks really clean when he's done. That's why we're going to have him give us any tips and tricks. Also, if you look at his times, he's bringing in consistently below times. He's bringing in his jobs in below budget. So he's doing a really good job with that. All right, first things first, and this goes with any job. As we're going up on the job, first thing we do is we do what? All right, and we read our notes. Walk the property, read your notes. Your notes can, especially with your shovel edging, a lot of these guys, when they run into places that have a lot of wires on it, things like that, they'll put it in their notes. They might tell you where they hit something last year. All right, so our turf side edge is going to be at 90 degrees. Eric, you want to go ahead and demonstrate how you cut your first edge? And while he's showing you guys demonstrating it, I'm also going to just keep reading through it. The other thing that we were talking about, like you guys talking about walking the property, we're trying to identify possible hazards. So if you walk in and there's
bruiser,
and there is
bruiser.
If you walk in, there's landscape lighting everywhere. Well, then you're going to probably have to be careful. If it's back deep in the beds, you probably have a little bit more leeway. A lot of times people put it right up on the edge, so watch your wires.
Sé que, por ejemplo, si llegan a la propiedad y ven que hay luces, que no metan la máquina, que le van a tener que dar con la pala, porque a veces la gente mete las líneas de los cables en la eje para más fácil ellos.
All right, any excess dirt can be used to fill in low spots in your bed. We try to bring as little back as possible. So fill in your low spots. If you've got a hole in the yard that you tripped in while you're walking into the beds, put it in there.
Que dice que para que no traigan tanta tierra para atrás al shop, dice que ahí busquen un área donde esté muy debajo, ahí le avienten la tierra.
If you guys look at Eric, he's not exerting a whole lot of energy when he's doing this. If you look, he's using that back edge to kind of push away and flip that dirt up. So that's why he's able to get through it a lot quicker. If we got any big pieces of grass like this, we need to get those out of there. The goal here, guys, is to get it set up for mulch and to provide a defined edge. So if a customer ever asks you what the shovel edge is, you tell them we're defining the edge of the beds to provide definition between the bed and the turf. So like Fisher said, these big clumps like this are hard to mulch over. So Eric, you got any tips for breaking up the clumps or any shovel edging tips in general?
Well, what I usually do is I grab the hard rake and I start smoothing it out. Grab the hard rake from down here and start smoothing up top, and all the extras are going to come out. So you grab all the extras and just throw them in your wheelbarrow and go. And also one more thing, what I usually do to make this edge look a lot more fresher is I edge it with the weed eater. I put the weed eater on top and start edging it. And it'll look a lot better, a lot more fresh too.
One of the reasons I like this bed is it's really steep. So I don't like how it's super V, so I'm sure as Eric came to clean this up, he's going to bring some of this back. And we're going to want that to be more like this. So that nice smooth slope down. We get that V, that forces all that water into one area when it rains, and it's going to run that thing and make a trench out of it.
Whenever you're edging around like small tree beds, then you probably don't want to take it up on the tree. You'll probably have to take off more dirt than if you was on a bigger bed and you don't have more room to spread.
So yeah, I did notice that on a property yesterday, that we had shovel edge, and shovel edge looked really nice, but all the dirt got pushed up on the tree. And so it just got stacked up here. What happens there, guys, is two things. One, the tree will start to grow roots out from its trunk. If we don't want that, that's taking roots that should be down deeper in the ground and putting it in the surface. Does nothing to support the tree. And so then if we do that, we're also going to have to put the mulch higher up on the trunk of the tree, and that holds moisture in there. And things that love moisture are disease, insects, bacteria.
I think like if the beds they're too high, don't put any more dirt because once you mulch it, it's going to look like a mountain.
Yeah, don't mount it up.
So the beds that you have more area in, you're going to be able to lose stuff in better, obviously. So when you get a 3-foot wide bed and it's already kind of mounded up, it's going to be harder to lose your material in there. That's where you can scoop your material out. Just because you scooped it out of that bed doesn't mean you can't put it in a low spot in another bed too. So be looking for that as you're going around and identify those areas where you could lose some of your spoils. Because everything we bring in here, we have to pay to haul out of here.
One more thing is if you shovel edge too flat and don't put the 45 on there, you go flat and it creates a cliff, and that's hard to mulch too.
One last thing, the bed edger can be your friend or it can be your worst nightmare. All right? So if it's wet, it's gonna get really clumpy and it's hard to clean up. If it's dry, man, it produces a nice powder. You rake that stuff out, you're gone. The other thing is, if you're gonna use that edger, you really gotta watch for your damages.
Dice James que